Hello, everyone. I'm Jed Matthew Ramos, and today I would like to talk to y'all a little bit about my personal dealings with anxiety disorder and depression. It's a very personal subject, and I'm not sure it's one that the general public is really begging for a discussion on. Really, it's something that we like to sweep under the rug a little bit. But I know a lot of you may be dealing with some of these issues, and I just like to let you know that you're not alone, man. Because I walk into a room and sometimes I freak, and sometimes there's no reason to freak. And everyone has anxiety. I'm not saying there's not. It's that that feeling when you're not used to driving in heavy traffic and you're and suddenly if you're from a small town, and then you're surrounded in the city by all these people and and you're going over a big bridge or something. That's anxiety. That, don't get me wrong, that's anxiety. But that anxiety times 10 reoccurring all the time is an anxiety disorder. And I was diagnosed at 27 years old. I did not take it seriously. I come from a very conservative family, both sides, both sides of my family, military families. Um, very conservative, not very liberal at all. I think my mother was the most liberal of them, and she still voted for Reagan and Bush. And they tend to. I haven't talked to every single member of both sides of my family, but yeah, I know that most of them don't even think that such a thing as anxiety disorder even really exists. And that is the crux of the matter. What I wanted to speak about today is your dealings with other people, because it's insane. It's how people treat you like you're making an excuse all the time, and people have these expectations of you and where you're supposed to be in your life, and these can all build up. I mean, everybody has these problems, but when you have an anxiety disorder, it just builds and builds and builds, and it just blows the fuck up. And next thing you know, the depression hits. And I've been there, man. You were like, you're in a dark room, no sun, listening to music, and that's all you can really do. You just try and you try to get yourself motivated to do shit, and you can't do it. You can't, like, no matter how hard you try, and that just fuels more anxiety and more depression, and that's a dark place to be, my friend. And I've been there more times than I want to count. And now that I'm taking things seriously, I'm hoping that never happens to me again. And I think the first step in that is the very first step is being honest about it, being honest with yourself, that there is an issue. Because I denied it from 27 to 38, like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I started taking this shit seriously, and I was forced to, because I was going to die if I did not. I had become so sick, so depressed, and so sick that I was seriously contemplating suicide. And if I didn't have children, that I love very much, and responsibilities that I know I have to take care of, I think it may have happened. And also a few close friends. But a lot of those friends turned on me, and here's why. And this is back to the crux of the matter. Here's why you're friends, because it's frustrating to them. They don't understand it. They don't deal with it. To them, even if they try to understand, a lot of time they get frustrated, and they just, in their head, they're thinking it's an excuse. I've seen it in their eyes. I see how they deal with me. I've seen how some of my family deals with me, and some of my closest friends, that some of them I used to have, they're not even my friends anymore, because it became so toxic that I couldn't do it anymore. Because you have to have at least one person in your life at all times. You find that one fucking person that has the patience for you, that has the patience for it, and that freaking believes you and understands it. Even if they don't completely understand it, because they don't have the anxiety themselves, that you have to have that one person that's there for you. Because if you don't, man, you're fucked. You are seriously fucked. And I'm so lucky that I'm not one of those people, because there are people out there that don't have that person. And I'm telling you, if you are one of those people, you have to find that person, man, dude, or it's going to be a long road. And you have to take it seriously, and you have to be honest with yourself. You have to say, okay, there is an issue. There's an issue here. There's an issue here. My life keeps falling apart for a reason. There is an issue here. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go to the doctor, and don't be afraid of meds. Don't be afraid of being on some meds for a while. Don't try, if you can, wean the fuck off of them. I weaned off of mine. I'm free and clear right now, but not that I'm cured or anything. There's no fucking magic cure. This is something that you're gonna have to fucking deal with. But you can learn better ways to deal with it. You can learn better ways to deal with it. You can learn techniques. You can go to some counseling. You can learn some techniques to deal with it and get yourself through shit. But yeah, I got off the medicine because it does. They say that it doesn't alter how you are, but it does. It does, man. I became very much less creative. I became not exactly a zombie, but I could never get too high or too low. It was just, bleh. It sucked, dude. So I weaned myself off as soon as, with the doctor's approval, as soon as I possibly could, man, because I'm a creative guy. I like being creative. And without creativity, my life really doesn't have a whole lot of meaning. So I had to get off as soon as possible. But back to the crux. People are not going to, people aren't going to believe you, man. They're not going to understand. And they're not going to have a whole lot of empathy for you sometimes. And that can be the hardest part. The hardest part can just be people talking shit about you and where you're at and some of the mistakes that you're making because of these anxieties and stuff. And because of the depression and stuff, you know, they can have somebody like, well, why aren't you turning this the important paperwork in that you have to do? And like, what are you? And they get frustrated. They get frustrated by it, and you can't. And it's hard. And you can be honest with them at first. You know, at first I was very honest with them about it, just like I was honest with myself. It's very important to be honest with yourself. I would be honest with them like I was being honest with myself, and I'd be like, okay, I'm having anxiety over accepting this phone call, this important phone call that I have to take, or I'm having anxiety dealing with these people because, you know, for me personally, people that have power over my life, you know, like judges, blah, 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 anything like that. Those people really freak out my anxiety sometimes. I mean, they really do. And, you can tell them that. You can tell that your loved ones this. And at first it might be okay. But eventually they get frustrated with it. And you know, all that goes out the window. The understanding goes out the window real fucking quick. So you're gonna have to have a thick fucking skin. And you know what? I'm a very honest person. I hate lying. Fucking hate it, but sometimes I have to. Sometimes I have to say, okay, make up some stupid bullshit lie because fucking if I just tell them it's my anxiety, they're just going to jump on my ass even fucking more. They are. I mean, there's no way around it. They're not going to understand. And some of these motherfuckers don't even believe you. You know, they don't believe that there's such a thing as anxiety disorder. They just like, they just want to push that shit off, man. Like they don't get it. They don't get it. So the only thing you can do sometimes is tell a little freaking fib. It's the only thing you can do. It's the only thing you can do. And, well, it sucks. It is what it is. You got to do what you have to do. Sometimes it's self-preservation time. You know, it's just like one of the reasons that I have a hard time quitting smoking cigarettes is because I walk into a room and sometimes I got a lot on my mind because shit going on in my life, or other times it just comes out of nowhere, like boom, you know, like anxiety, like pretty bad. So it makes a lot more sense to go outside and smoke a cigarette, and it's much more socially acceptable to be outside smoking a cigarette while you're standing outside and counting to 10, you know, forwards and backwards until it freaking subsides. And doing the little exercises, you know, going slower and slower until you finally get your shit under control. If you're smoking a cigarette, it looks a lot more socially acceptable than just being the fucking weirdo standing out in front of the door like, you know, like, what the fuck's this guy doing outside? He's like, is he some kind of creeper? You know, like, he doesn't even have any friends out there with him, dude. What is going on? And yeah, you're going to run into a lot of motherfuckers that don't understand. And it's okay. You know what? And you do have it. And if you are going through this, you have these issues, they are real, man. And you have to admit them to yourself. You have to go get some help. But there's nothing really wrong with you, dude. I mean, it's just how you're wired. You know, For some people, it's a chemical imbalance. For me, it's a PTSD thing. That shit that I don't want to get into, from that shit from my childhood that just fucked me up a little bit, and now I'm dealing with it. It is what it is, man. But there's nothing really fucking wrong with you, man. It's just as long as you take the steps to get it fixed, and you dude, I love my life, and I still have hard days. I have a lot to live for. Are you ready to give the fuck up? Think about it. Are you really ready to give the fuck up? Think about the things in life that you love. Think about a fucking warm breeze. Think about a cool breeze. Think about freaking swimming. Think about freaking, the kiss of a lover. I mean, do you really, your kids, dude, do you really want to give up? Go get some fucking help. Admit it. Be honest with yourself. Who cares if you have to tell little white lies to these fucking jokers that don't fucking understand? Do what you got to do. Self-preserve. Be as honest as you can in your life. I'm not telling you to lie to fucking everybody, but self-preserve. Keep pushing. You're not fucking alone, dude. You're not alone. There's a lot of us out here. We're dealing with the same shit. And yeah, man, just keep going. So I just wanted to make this video. It's been on my mind for a while, and I've seen other people struggling. Maybe this could help. Little pep talk for you. Much love.